Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode or episodes of 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way, episodes 9, 10, and 11. If I can get through all 3 episodes in 20 minutes, I will be so happy. So let's start with Ariella and Binyam. So Ariella, as we all know, is in Ethiopia with her mom, and they were going to check out the hospital conditions because Ariella plans to give birth in Ethiopia. So her mom really wanted to check out the facilities. Her mom is a nurse, I think. She's a registered nurse. And so she was really into making sure that the facility was up to par, up to her standard. Now, what she thought she was going to see was a drastic change from what she actually saw because she had very low expectations of this hospital. I don't really know why she would have such low expectations. Babies are born all over the world every day, and they're fine because these other countries are very much populated. So babies are being born, babies are surviving, but she just needed to be reassured. So they visit the hospital, and her mom was actually shocked that they had a NICU. And I'm like, why would you be surprised about them having a NICU? I'm pretty sure that, when at some point, however many years ago, when they realized, okay, sometimes babies are born with complications and we need to have a special facility for that, they went ahead and took care of that like anywhere else in the world. But she was shocked that they had a NICU. She was shocked about how clean the hospital was. And I'm like, why wouldn't anyone else in the world want to have clean hospitals, specialized units? Why would anybody else want that? It's not just Americans who want that and value that. Everyone else wants that as well. They want cleanliness. They want NICUs. They want specialists and all of that. So I was like, she's acting a little bit, I don't know, entitled, privileged. I don't know what the word is. And she was also surprised on how equipped the hospital was. Girl, go sit down. So they're happy with the hospital. Now, Ariella did ask the nurse who was giving them the tour, or she could have been the doctor, I don't know, who was giving them the tour of the hospital. She asked about having a private room. And I think the consensus was, yes, you can have a private room, but you have to pay extra for that. So Ariella, Binyam, and Ariella's mom are sitting down for coffee, popcorn and coffee, I think it was. And the mother is questioning about Binyam's ex. She wants to get the full story on what happened to your ex. Binyam claims he doesn't know why she left. As far as we know, I'm not sure what the issues were between him and his ex, but his ex was also an American woman who also had his baby. And according to Binyam, she just up and left and went back to America, and he never saw his child after that. Mom wants to make sure that he's not using her daughter to come to America. And he tells them, no, he doesn't want to move to America. And that's not what he's in this for. He's not trying to get a visa or whatever the situation is. And I think the plan is for Ariella to actually live in Ethiopia, because it says 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way. And the mother asks Binyam, how are you going to support Ariella and your child? And he says he's going to support them by dancing. And of course, Ariella and her mom have serious doubts about that, as do I. But these are the things that Ariella should have thought of before she got pregnant with this man. I don't understand why people are surprised that when they have unprotected sex, it's going to lead or might lead to a child. And you need to think about, if I lay down with this person without any type of birth control or protection, and a baby comes out of this, am I going to be okay with that decision? Will I be okay with this person being the parent of my child? Because we're going to do this unprotected, and this means that I could get pregnant. So am I okay with this person being attached to this person, having my baby, my child attached to this person for the rest of our lives? But all the questions that they're asking, what happened to your ex? What kind of hospital facilities do y'all have in Ethiopia? What kind of living conditions are you going to have in Ethiopia? Are you going to be able to support? All of these questions they're asking days away or weeks away from Ariella giving birth. And it's like, look, you made this bed, honey. You need to lie in it. However way it is, it's how it's going to go. Either you accept it for what it is, or you just go back to America and leave it alone. They meet with Binyam's family. He had a very nice family, very beautiful girls. I think they were his sisters or his nieces. And they're at a restaurant, and they are they're talking at the table. The food comes, and the relatives take some of the food with their hand, and they proceed to feeding Ariella and her mom. Now, I'm glad that Ariella and her mom, they took it like pros. They didn't balk at it, because I can only imagine how someone like Angela would have taken something like that if Michael's relatives had, taken food with their hands and proceeded to feed her. I can only imagine how she would have reacted. But Ariella and her mom reacted fine. This is the culture, this is tradition, we'll roll with it. So I was happy about that. And it kind of took me a little bit off guard, but I'm glad that they didn't make a bigger deal than it actually was. So they are sitting there with Binyam's family, and they said the reason why they're feeding them is to basically, this is how you show respect to people. His own family, this is what I thought was funny. Binyam's own family were like, he doesn't have a good track record with women and with relationships. Even they admitted it, that maybe he wasn't the best boyfriend. So then after that, we go to where Binyam works. Now, he's a dancer at a nightclub. And the funny thing is that his dance partner, so this is a nightclub, and it wasn't what I was expecting. I thought he was something like a male version of a go-go dancer, where everybody's dancing, and the go-go dancers, are, doing their thing in cages or on the stage or on the floor or whatever, but everybody's dancing as well. But no, it didn't go like that. People are actually sitting at tables, and they're watching him perform on a stage. And that's how I guess he makes his living, his main source of income. And he's dancing with his dance partner, who happens to be his ex-girlfriend. Now, the dance moves that they did were a little bit provocative. He has her, she's like she's doing a handstand in front of him with her legs completely spread eagle. And he's pretending to play the piano on her butt and thighs, on her spread open legs in front of him. On her butt and thighs, and pretending that he's hitting like a conga drum or something on her butt. So it was, needless to say, I guess a bit tense for Ariella and her mom. The mother made a comment about how flexible the girlfriend was, and Ariella didn't care for that too much. But, this is how he makes his living. I guess if Ariella likes it, all we can do is love it. She ain't got no problem with it. So my conclusion with Ariella and Binyam is, I'm very worried about the income, as far as, is this man really going to be able to support her and her baby? And I still am not clear on exactly where they're going to live. I don't know if they're going to live at the house with all the red and black lacquer living room, or if they're going to go find another place to live. Oh, they're waiting for their apartment or their home to be constructed. And Binyam thinks that it's going to take, a couple of weeks, when in actuality, it might take like a year. So I don't know what to say. I'm like, I really want Ariella to kind of go back home. Please. I don't even think she has time anymore to go back home, because she can only fly to a certain point of her pregnancy. Then after that, she can't take flights anymore. So I don't even know. I'm just like, girl, what? First of all, Binyam seems way too young. I don't know chronologically what they are. I forgot. I think she might be a little bit older than him. Not only chronologically young, but just his maturity young. Like, he just seems like a big kid. I don't know. And then I remember this also at the club scene, where it was at the club scene. I don't know where it was, but it was mentioned that Binyam is out all night at the clubs, dancing, rapping, doing whatever he needs to do, entertaining. He's out all night long. And Ariella's mom was like, is that what you want in a partner when you're having a new baby? You want him to be gone until the wee hours of the morning, and you're left home alone taking care of a newborn? Is that what you want? So I don't see anything redeeming about this relationship. I don't see anything redeeming about her moving to Ethiopia. Um, I think she really should have stayed in America to have her baby and then come to Ethiopia after the baby was maybe 6 months to a year old. Um, I just don't understand. And I know her reasoning is that I really want him to be there at the birth. Okay, girl, it's fine. It's okay. I understand the sentimentality of the father being there when the baby's being born, but like I said, you made a very, very strange bed, and now you're gonna have to lie in that bed. But I don't think that you are really thinking clearly on what's best for your child. I really think that Ariella is only thinking about what's best for her. I don't know that much about Ariella. I know that I think she was married before or had a serious relationship before with another foreigner who I think was from South America or Central America. And that didn't work. He ended up getting deported, I think. So her track record is also not that great. But now you have a whole baby involved. And I'm just like, we'll see how that works out. Then we go to Melissa and Tim. So Tim arrives in Colombia. Melissa notices right away that he's gained some weight. You know, it's not that bad. It's not like he's 600 pounds or anything like that. You know, he's got some good man weight. You know, some good, I've been having some, really healthy 3 meals a day kind of weight. And, but she made a comment about that. Nothing derogatory, but like she's noticing it. And he comes there with the pets, 2 dogs and a cat. She grills him about the affair that he had on her. So we find out that she found out about the affair through social media. I'm not really clear on how the details of that. Like, how did that happen? She saw pictures of them on social media together, Tim and the other woman, or what? I don't know. I'm not clear on how that went. But her whole thing was, he didn't tell me. I found out on my own that he was having an affair on me. And so I guess he came clean. At breakfast the next day, she makes it clear to him that just because, you're here and you're making this effort does not mean that everything is, hunky-dory. I'm okay with this and we're going to start fresh. She's harboring a lot of hurt and anger over the affair. And I hope that it's not something that she's going to continue to bring up. Her mother knows about the affair. Her father does not know about the affair up to a certain point. He doesn't know about the affair. And the mother is really like, not cool with it. She thinks that what Tim did was absolutely reprehensible. It seems like the mom, she's just not really like 100% supporting this relationship. The mother is very cold towards Tim, very distant towards him because of the affair. And then at the dinner that they have, his first night there, it's with him and Melissa and her parents. And at the dinner, the dad at that point did not know about the affair yet. So it's like this big pink elephant that's in the room that no one's talking about because the dad doesn't know about it. And the dad asked Tim, what made you want to move to Colombia? And he can't say that, well, I cheated on her and this is my way of proving to her that I'm serious about, being with her, and that I want her to forgive me and I want to put the past behind us and I really want to make an effort to show her how much I love her. So basically they just tell dad, oh, he moved to Colombia so we can be closer and work on our relationship. But they do end up telling the dad that he was unfaithful to Melissa. And the funny thing is, the day before they told dad, Melissa's dad, about the affair, or not the day before, but before they told him, Melissa actually had the audacity to say that, oh, it's going to be a good thing for you to tell my dad. And I'm like, why would you think that's a good thing? I mean, your mom is already not feeling Tim anymore. And anyway, so they tell dad, and dad didn't like it. He reacted like any father would, like, you hurt my daughter. If you love her, you wouldn't have done this. Love is based on trust, and evidently she has no trust in you. So the father wasn't feeling this at all. So I don't know what Tim is going to do. I'm pretty sure. The thing is this, Melissa to me just seems like someone who is always going to throw it in his face. And that's what she's going to use for leverage. Whenever she wants him to do something, or whenever he does anything that makes her upset, she's going to throw that in his face. Well, you cheated on me and I still took you back, and you disappointed not only me, but you disappointed my parents. I have a feeling that she's really going to throw this in his face. I don't know if she's very insecure. I don't know if there was something about this girl that he cheated on her with that kind of like shook her to the core and made her question maybe her relationship with him. But either he said he was sorry. So are we going to move forward with this? And I don't think that they really should have brought the parents into this, but I guess they had to know because of the show. But and then Tim is so emotional. I mean, every single time someone brings up the affair and what he did, he just turns into like mush. He just constantly crying, and I don't know. I mean, watching them does not make me happy. I want to be rooting for a couple. I want things to work out for people, and I don't know. I don't know. She just needs to, if you forgave him, if you took him back, evidently you've forgiven him. I don't know if this is such a hot topic right now because she has to tell her parents about it, and that's why. And then once the parents know, and once the parents understand that they're going to stay together regardless, maybe she'll let it go and they can finally move forward with their relationship. Because we can't even get into how Tim is going to be acclimated to his new surroundings and learning the language and getting used to the culture. We can't even get into that because we're still stuck on this affair that he had. Now we're going into Devin and Jehoon. So Devin and Jehoon, a lot of issues here. Bottom line, Jehoon needs to step up, like we've said 1,000 times before. He needs to step up, be a man. Devin was extremely upset that, he wasn't being financially responsible. He wasn't taking care of the baby and her financially as he should have been. And so there was I think, a big miscommunication between what was going on with Jehoon's money. So the money that he was earning, my understanding was he was giving it to his mom. Now, instead of spending it on Devin and the baby, he was giving the money to his mom because he knew that he's not good with money. So his mom was helping him save the money. And so the mom was saving the money for him. And for some reason, I think Devin thought that he was just, and I think it was because Jehoon kind of made her think this, but it could have been a breakdown in communication. But Devin thought that he was just splurging the money, just wasting the money away on himself. But the money was being saved. And so Devin is considering going back to America with her mom because she's like, well, you have nothing for us here. You lied about how much money you make. You lied about what you were doing with your money. You were not sending money over to me for the baby. You didn't find us a place. You're still the same irresponsible person that I left the last time I was in Korea. Nothing has changed. In fact, things have gotten worse. So she wants to go back to America so bad, and her mom wants her to go back to America. So she basically tells Jehoon, you need to prove to me that you're going to change, and you prove this to me by giving me the $3,000 that you said you saved up. So he was like, no problem, because he really was saving the money. His mom was saving the money for him. So right away, he goes to an ATM machine and he takes out the $3,000 and he's like, here. So I guess it's made her feel a little bit better about staying for a little bit longer. Now, the thing is this with Jehoon and Devin. Obviously, Devin's mom is on Devin's side. She thinks that Jehoon is not responsible enough for her daughter and not doing the right things, by her daughter. Now, Jehoon's mom, I don't know if she's Jehoon's mom sees the faults in her son, but she doesn't, they're kind of like, Devin and her mom are sort of like, what's the word? Maybe they're making him out to be worse than he is. And I think to Jehoon's mom, she doesn't like how they are constantly pointing out his faults, putting him down, saying all these negative things about him. And she's kind of like, my son is trying. Y'all never acknowledge the positive things that he's doing. It's constantly berating him. And the mom is getting a little bit fed up with that. And obviously the mom doesn't care for Devin, doesn't care for Devin's mom. Jehoon's father is trying to be neutral. So Jehoon's father kind of is sort of taking the side of Devin, like, you know what? Yeah, he should have been more responsible. He should have been, doing A, B, C, and D for Devin and the baby and Drusilla. And the mom is like, she sees that the father is kind of seeing things Devin's way. And so the mom is like, she probably feels like I'm the only one standing up for my son. His own father, is on Devin's side. I'm the only one here for my son. And so maybe she is mothering him too much. She's not allowing him. Maybe the fact that she is that way is what's keeping him in this little boy stage. She is probably overprotective. He probably is a mama's boy. She probably mothers him way too much for the age that he's at. So maybe, at first I was kind of like, I can see why she's getting defensive about her child. But then I'm kind of like, well, maybe that's the reason why he's never really grown up, because the mom is like, she's there to save the day. She's there to protect him, to make him feel better. Don't talk like that to my boy. Don't treat my boy bad. And maybe because of that, he's kind of stuck in this childlike stage. So when he gives her the money, she feels a little bit better. They get a better apartment, but the apartment is only for about a month. So I don't know what they're going to do after that month. The apartment is only for a month. They move in. It's a really nice apartment, and Devin really likes it. There's plenty of room for the kids. Now, Devin's mom, Alicia, is kind of like, she has mixed feelings. She's happy that they got a better place, but she's sad because of the fact that they got a better place, because now Devin is going to stay. And I think, Alicia kind of wanted Devin to go back with her. So, but she's trying to, let her daughter live her life. Like, this is, whatever decision she makes, I'm just going to have to let her make those decisions. And so they all go to the park. It's in a really nice neighborhood. There's a playground for the kids. So Devin, her mom, the kids, Jehoon and his parents all go to the park to talk it out. And with the aid of the translator machine that Devin has, they've all come to the conclusion, yes, Jehoon was not responsible. Yes, Jehoon needs to step up. And they've all decided that the grandparents were going to step back. We're going to let these two people be adults, try to handle their business. This is the only way that Jehoon is going to be able to hopefully, mature a little bit. But at the park, after everyone's talked about everything, they're leaving the park because they were there from like when it was daytime and now it's nighttime. I'm like, how long were they there? So after everything is said and done and they're all on the same page of what needs to be done with the kids, with Jehoon and Devin, they get up to leave. As they're getting up to leave, Jehoon picks up Drusilla and he's carrying her. Drusilla is getting antsy and fidgety and she wants to be put down. So Jehoon puts her down. As soon as he puts her down, the little girl bolts. She takes off, and it's nighttime and it's dark. And I don't know if she's running into the street or where she's running to because it's so dark. She is gone. Everybody starts running after her. They're calling her name. They're running after her. Jehoon books it. I mean, he takes off like Usain Bolt after that little girl. And that's where it all ends. So we don't know exactly what happened. But it was so scary because you see this little girl running into the dark really fast. And all of these people are chasing her, trying to catch her. And it's like, is she going to run into a street? Is she about to get run over by a car? And so from next week's episode, it seems like they all kind of blame Jehoon for letting the little girl run off. But the little girl wanted to be put down. So that was really scary to see that. I hope the little girl's okay. Kenneth and Armando. 23 minutes. Kenneth and Armando. Okay, so they're there in Mexico. As the whole thing with them is that Kenneth has been out for a very long time. I think they said he's been out as long as Armando's been alive. So he's been out for a very long time. Now, in one of the episodes, I thought this was very, reflective and a little bit, touching. Kenneth talks about when he was younger and when AIDS was like a huge epidemic in America and people were just dropping like flies from AIDS. He talked about how 80% of the people that he knew were dead from AIDS, were gone. And I've heard this said by other gay men who had lost so many friends, loved ones, associates from the disease back in the early 80s, early 90s. And what's so sad is that because of the stigma that was attached to AIDS, there wasn't enough attention, support to deal with the people who were left behind. Now, I remember during that time, we would see like news footage of these people who were dying. So many people were dying. And you would see these people who were just practically just skeletons in their hospital beds, moments away from death. And it was rampant. And I don't think that the nation as a whole did what all it could do because of the stigma of AIDS being attached to homosexuality and the country not being comfortable with the topic of homosexuality. And so it was just kind of brushed aside as, okay, that's a gay disease. And yeah, straight people get it too. Yeah, kids get it too. But mostly it was like, it's a gay disease. For whatever reason, politics, religion, social standards, social norms, I feel like not enough was done for the victims of AIDS themselves, especially. That's the most important thing. For the victims of AIDS, it seems like, I think the medical world was doing the best it could, because I think the medical world, the people that were researching for a cure, researching treatment, trying to do whatever they could to prolong people's lives, I think that they just saw it as it was a medical issue. It wasn't a gay issue. It wasn't a Christian issue. It was just a medical issue. People are dying. We need to fix it. People are sick. We need to fix it. So I think the medical community was doing all that it could. Now, America is the kind of place where when there's something happening to a sector of the population, people kind of rally behind it. We all kind of want to support cancer research and cancer patients. There's outreach, there's groups or support groups of people who are living with cancer. There's support groups and organizations and all kinds of stuff for people who have loved ones who are living with cancer, who are dying of cancer, who have died from cancer. Another example would be like war veterans. There's not enough done for war veterans either, but not on the scale as it was for AIDS and HIV patients. For war veterans, there are support groups for veterans themselves, but there's also support groups for families of war veterans. There's support groups for family of people who are dealing with disabled vets, dealing with vets who were killed, in the line of action. So for all kinds of situations, for all kinds of crises, there's support groups for that. There's support groups for people who have lost children, who have lost spouses, who have lost siblings, who have, a special, a relative or a child or a parent, whoever, has died from a violent act, has died from, being murdered. There's so many support groups for so many crises, but I think with the AIDS situation, there was so much shame associated with it. I don't think we did enough as a country for the victims and for the families of the victims, for the friends of the victims. And I'm saying all of this to say this. The people who were left behind, the friends who were, like, for example, Kenneth, he said 80% of his friends were gone. What was being done for someone like him? For so many people like him because I have so much to say, I'm tripping over my words. So what I'm trying to say is, if you were gay back then and your family disowned you, your friends became your family. So when your friends are dying, what's left of you? You can't go to your family because they don't understand. The society has shunned you because you're gay. Society has shunned your friends who are dying because they're gay and they have AIDS. Where do you go? What do you do? When your family, your friends, your new family Everyone around you is dying. Can you imagine if there was something that afflicted a family, like if your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, something that afflicted people where their whole family was dying? Do you understand like how the government, how society would come and be like, oh my God, we have to help these people. Their families are dying from whatever. Disease X or something. Everyone's dying, and we need to find something to help this person because their whole family's been wiped out by this, whatever disease. But when it came to AIDS, the people that were left behind, the government didn't care. Society didn't care. Like, nobody cared that, you had 50 of your friends wiped out in months. You can't go back to your family because you're gay. They don't accept you anymore. Your support group, your close family, and your close friends have all gone. There was no one there for people like Kenneth, for the ones that survived all of this, that were left alone again. They have no blood family. Now they have no this new community that they were able to form and be comfortable. And now all of them are gone. So who was that? What happened to people like Kenneth? What happened to them? How do they get through this when everyone around you is dying and you're watching your friends die, wasting away, and it seems like nobody really cares? How do you get through this? That was my point. So that really touched me when he talked about that. So moving on from that was way too long. So Armando's not comfortable with PDA, public display of affection. They're walking down the street in Mexico. Kenneth wants to hold hands. Kenneth wants to kiss. Kenneth doesn't care what people say, what people think. And Armando, he's not there yet. He's not comfortable. He says this is a very machismo or macho type of society, and, we can get hurt. We can't do that here. So the next big thing about that, and Armando thinks that maybe Kenneth is being too pushy. And I think maybe Kenneth is. Kenneth is a little bit older. He's, lived many, many years. And so he is at that point where he's going to live his life. He's tired of the BS, of the hiding and being in the closet. He's not doing that no more. He wants to hug and kiss his man whenever he feels like hugging and kissing his man. That's the point where he's at now. But Armando, he's kind of just coming out. And so, Kenneth needs to give Armando a little bit of time. So Kenneth has this big plan of he wants to propose to Armando. His daughters have arrived, and come to find out later, other friends also arrived. So his 2 daughters have arrived, and the third daughter and the son could not make it. So 2 of his daughters have arrived, and they want to be there for the proposal. So he tells Armando that he's going to go to the bank by himself to open up an account. So he goes to meet with his daughters, I guess, to plan the whole proposal or whatever he has to do, make all the arrangements for the proposal. And so finally he goes to pick up Armando, and he tells Armando we're going to go out to dinner. So they're driving to the restaurant. Armando has no idea. They're driving to the restaurant. They get to the restaurant, and it happened to be one of Armando's favorite places to eat. And then when they get to the restaurant, they start walking, and he takes them to the water. I guess the restaurant was near the beach or something, but it wasn't actually like the beach. It was like the cliffs, and then there was a water below. So they're down there by the water, and you see the waves crashing. And I loved this so much. And Kenneth says to Armando, do you remember when we were here a year ago? We were standing right here, and we were looking out at the water, at the ocean, and you said, I want to get this correct. He says that Armando told Kenneth when they were standing at that same place a year before, looking at the water, Armando had said that their future was as wide as the ocean. So Kenneth brings him back to that place for the proposal. And so, of course, he confesses his love, and he wants to spend the rest of his life with Armando. And then he gets on one knee, and he pulls out the ring, and he opens up the little box, and he asks him to marry him, and Armando says yes. So that was really beautiful. So it was so touching. Now, let me rewind. When Kenneth went to go meet with his daughters, I remember now. He went to go meet with his daughters when he told Armando that I'm going to go to the bank. He went to go meet with his daughters to buy the ring. Yes, that's what it was. He went to go meet with his daughters to go buy the ring. So when he proposes and Armando says yes, all of a sudden you can hear people cheering in the background. So Armando looks up, and there's Kenneth's daughters, and I guess some other friends and relatives were up there on top of the cliffs cheering them on. And it was just so beautiful. So they go up there. Everybody congratulates them, hugs and kisses all around. The daughters absolutely love Armando, adore Armando, because they love their dad. And this man makes their dad happy. And anyone who makes their dad happy is going to make them happy. So that was beautiful. So Armando was like, he just felt so overwhelmed by the support and the love. And I can't imagine anyone looking at this scene and not feeling anything but total joy, watching something like this. Just joy and happiness to see that they are going to commit their lives to each other, and to see that they have so much love and support, at least from Kenneth's side of the family. And I'm pretty sure Armando's family will come around too. But to see the love and the support that they were getting from their loved ones, it was so beautiful. And I'm just so glad that Armando is able to feel that, to feel like people can accept me for who I am, and they love me for who I am. And it's just so beautiful. Okay, now we go to Brittany and Yazan. Now, the situation with Brittany and Yazan. So Yazan is putting a lot of pressure on Brittany to convert to Islam. And they want to get married. No, let's go back a little bit. So episode 9, they met with the uncle, because the uncle was going to try to convince Yazan's parents to be a little bit more patient and to kind of back off a little bit as far as the marriage and having Brittany convert to Islam, and to kind of see if there could be any type of repair done between Brittany and Yazan's parents. So the uncle said he would do that. Okay, fine. So then they go to the mosque, and while they're walking to the mosque, they're actually holding hands, which to me, the reason why that stuck out to me was because with, I can't remember their name. What was her name? I can't remember her name. Well, during the past episodes, or the past season of 90 Day Fiancé, her name wasn't Michelle. It wasn't Heather. No, it wasn't Danielle. But Danielle as well. Danielle and, I can't remember his name. What I'm trying to say is this. In previous seasons, when we had someone that was Muslim, public display of affection was a big no-no. And we were told that it was because, in our culture or whatever, we just don't do that. We don't hold hands. We don't kiss in public. But that one girl went to, I don't even know what country it was. That one girl with the little girl, she had a little girl that she was dragging. Her daughter's name was May, but I can't remember her name or his name. When she went to the Muslim country to go be with her man, she wanted a hug and she wanted to hold hands, and he was like, no, we can't do that in public. So I was surprised that with Brittany and Yazan, they were just, walking down the street holding hands like it was nothing. So that's why I'm like, okay, so is it permissible or is it not permissible to hold hands in public in a Muslim country? Or maybe it depends on the country or the city that you're in. So they go to the mosque, and the men, Yazan and Brittany, are separated. When they enter the mosque, Yazan goes to where the men go, and Brittany goes to where the women go. So when they're having lunch afterwards, Yazan is back on his, on his game, trying to tell Brittany, when are you going to convert? I need you to convert to Islam for us to get married. And so Brittany's like, hold on. First of all, you're putting the pressure on me again. I thought your uncle was going to, convince your parents, and I guess you too, that I need more time. But here we go. We're back to square one where you're pressuring me. And also, you never told me that me converting to Islam was mandatory for us to get married. You never told me that. You should have told me that in the beginning. And Yazan is kind of like, well, it wasn't necessary for you to convert. It's necessary for my wife to be Muslim. And I'm like, okay, yeah, your wife, who you intend for that to be, is Brittany. So it is necessary for Brittany to convert to Islam. So they're kind of going back and forth on that. And then Brittany gets up and she leaves. And, let me rewind that. Because it's 3 episodes. I'm trying to figure out all that happened. Let me rewind that. They go to the mosque, and after the mosque, there's another important scene. Yazan is teaching Brittany how to pray and the things that she needs to do before they pray. So he's telling her that before you pray, you have to wash. So he teaches her how to wash her hands, wash her mouth, wash her face, and then you go and you pray. So when they're praying, she's actually liking it. It's like a positive experience for her, when she's praying with him. She sees it as a very spiritual thing. So after that is when they have the dinner, and that's when he puts the pressure on her, like, I need you to convert in 3 days to Islam. And she's like, wait a minute, I can't do that. Now, my thing is this. Okay, so there might be this requirement that you have to marry a Muslim person. You can't marry someone who's not Muslim. Fine. But it's not realistic for Yazan to think that she's going to convert in 3 days. Converting to Islam is a whole lifestyle change. It's not just like Christianity where basically you're like, okay, yeah, I believe in Jesus, and yeah, I might go to church once in a while, and then that's it. Then the rest of the time you're doing what you want. So converting to Islam is a whole entire lifestyle change. It's a whole entire culture change. You have to dress a certain way. You have to act a certain way. You have to pray however many times a day. You have to go to mosque. It's a whole lifestyle. So I'm not understanding if Yazan is telling her this, like he really doesn't get how much of a commitment it would be for her and how much of a change it would be for her. Or is he kind of like, wink, wink, convert to Islam just to make my parents think that you're converting to Islam so you can hurry up and get married. And I promise you, baby, afterwards, it doesn't really matter to me if you practice or not. Because I just don't think it's realistic for him to think that she can convert to Islam and that quickly. Now, wouldn't it be more attractive for her to want to voluntarily become Muslim? Like, wouldn't he think that it's more endearing, it's more admirable if she made that decision on her own? Like, if one day after being with her for a year, 2 years, or whatever, she just makes that decision on her own to be like, Yazan, you know what? I've thought about it and I think I want to convert now. I really want to convert. Isn't that more admirable than forcing her? And even if she said yes, even if she said yes, I'm going to convert tomorrow. Yes, I'm going to do this. How much faith do you have that she's going to stick with it afterwards? She may convert and then she may be like, not really following the protocols of the religion. So she may convert for you, but how serious is she going to take it? And how committed will she be to it? And also, Yazan, why would you expect someone to make such a drastic change in 3 days? That's just crazy to me. And I understand there's a language barrier. So I really I'm trying to be sympathetic, but why would Yazan expect, why didn't he make it more clear to her that for us to proceed with this relationship, you have to become Muslim? Now, you know what? I do remember when she was still living in Florida and they were FaceTiming, he always brought that up. Like, have you converted? I don't know if he told her, I don't know if he asked her, have you converted? But I remember him asking her, have you read the Quran? Are you reading your Quran? He made a big deal about it. And I kind of think Brittany knew. I don't know what's going on with these people. I don't know if Yazan is just so ignorant to think that she's going to convert in 3 days. He never really told her the full story of what he expected of her. And now it's unrealistic for him to think that she's just going to convert. I don't know if that's his issue, or he did make it clear to her that she had to convert to Muslim. And Brittany is just playing dumb. Like, oh, why didn't you tell me when all along she did know? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on there. I'm very confused about their relationship. Because I'm not Muslim, but I know enough that if I was going to date a Muslim, that the religion will be a topic of discussion. Maybe I'm trying to compare it to another type of religion. Like if I dated a Jewish man, but I don't know. So maybe I just don't understand how. Well, she's already moved to Jordan. She's already completely left her life behind in Florida, made this huge move and sacrifice to Jordan. Now you're realizing, oh, for me to get married, which is something they have to do, which is what she wanted to do, I have to be a Muslim. And I don't want to do that. So what are you going to do now? You're going to go back to Florida? Like, what is going on? Why aren't these things discussed? Because in that one episode, in that one season of 90 Day Fiancé, that girl who was living in America and she decided to move to Syria, I think it was. She knew enough about the fact that she knew that she had to convert, and so that was a decision that she made on her own. Her husband did not force her. Her husband did not make her. Okay, there's so much going on here, and I'll keep on going back to other seasons because I'm just comparing it to other seasons where other American women knew they had to convert, were willing to convert, and that's what they did. Or what was her name? It wasn't, I keep on wanting to say Michelle. Nicole. Yes, Nicole. So Nicole, her converting to Islam was never a topic of discussion between her and her man. I don't remember it being like this, where he was telling her, you have to convert or we're not going to get married. They were actually planning on getting married. Unless it was all a sham. I don't know. I don't know. So when they're having dinner and he's putting this pressure on her, she gets upset and then she leaves. Then she comes back and then I guess he thinks about it and he says, you know what, Brittany, I'll give you time. I'll give you all the time that you need on that. Okay, so I guess that's that. Now we go to Sumit and Jenny. Now Sumit and Jenny, there's nothing going on there. It's still the same old, same old. Oh my God, I'm so sick and tired of this. I am so sick and tired of Sumit and Jenny. And they're likable people, but I'm frustrated. The whole thing of, are his parents going to accept him marrying this older American woman or not? We don't know. The brother is always, being the mediator between the parents and Sumit. And he keeps on coming back with the same news. They don't accept Jenny because of her age. I don't know what else Sumit wants. I don't know what else Jenny's look, y'all going on and on about we have the right to do this and we have the right. Well, the parents have the right to not accept it. The parents have the right to say hell to the no. We don't like it. We don't like her. We don't want you to get married to her. We don't accept it today. We're not going to accept it tomorrow. We're not going to accept it a million years from now. We don't want it. We don't want it. We don't like it. We hate it. Please, Jenny and Sumit, come to America. Do what you can and come to. And I understand, Sumit, you don't want to be estranged from your parents, but this is going on 2 seasons of this. 2 seasons of this. And I don't want to waste any more time on this video talking about this because I'm just going to go on and on and on about the same thing. I don't know what they're going to do. Look. Whatever. I don't know. Sumit, Jenny, parents still don't accept it. Sumit and Jenny still feel like they need to accept it. They're not going to accept it. You need to accept the fact that they're not going to accept it. That's it. This is 47 minutes long. Lord have mercy. I wish I could edit so I can chop it up and make it shorter. I have no idea what I'm doing on YouTube. I'm a brand new content creator, so I have no idea what's going on here. I'm going to try to see if I can edit it. But if I can't edit it and, condense it some, then it's a 47-minute video. Anyways, thank you for stopping by. Come back next time. I'll talk to you later. Bye.